moment with the Power Max 360, especially during the recovery phase. The main benefit of this is there's no inertia, there's no negative recoil. When you do the same movements with the cables, you have to explode concentrically, and then if you stop, the weight's going to pull you back. The Power Max 360, the main benefit is he can explode forward concentrically, and then it stops. There's no resistance. So the harder you push, the harder you do the movement, the harder this is. And the other advantage is you can work speed of movement. And if you watch him, he's out of breath. This is something that came in very handy when his wrist was in a cast. We strapped his hand to it, secured it to the Power Max 360 above where his injury was, so he could do every upper body movement possible in every range of motion with the resistance that was appropriate to how his body felt, with no stress on the wrist. We'll do both legs, which is it's a single leg, same arm. So he has his knee up and his hip at a 90-degree level, knee essentially as high as his hip. So he's getting the balance, the stability. Again, this is a functional recovery day, so he's getting ankle, hip, and knee prehab. At the same time, the harder he punches than pulls, so he's pushing and pulling at the same time. And the harder and the faster movement it is, the more core stability and strength it requires. As soon as you lose your stability, you lose your power, and you're going to lose your speed. On these intervals was a 30-second on, 1 minute off. Then we do a split stance, and now we start bringing back in the dynamic flexibility of his hamstrings and more hip movement, because the hip focus is he'll do 10 punches, 5 each arm, core stability, same drill as before, and then add in a front kick. We're working on the explosiveness with his upper body, keeping his body as stable as possible, and then working on the power in terms of the kick. This is power, so we want him to kick whoever he is through the wall. So he does as quick as he can with the 10 punches, and then a front kick with the right. We did 5 reps on each leg, continuous. Basically, it's a fly and a posterior delt exercise where, as he pulls in with a fly, he pulls in as quick and explosive as he can. As he's pulling out, he's pushing his chest through and working upper back, rhomboids, and posterior delt at the same time. We're working on speed of movement. So again, we're trying to manage how many full range of motion reps he can do in 30 seconds. And then we give him a minute off. And again, set-wise, so volume-wise, we'll go 1 to 3 sets. You can do this with resistance bands. You can do it with cables. You can do the same movements with dumbbells. The only difference is usually you're going to be working in one direction and then have to switch, change your position or change your mode of resistance and do it in the other direction. It's just not as efficient, but you can still get the same work in.
The workouts I've been doing back here at D1 in the off season I basically take what I've learned from different strength coaches over the years and put it all together for my off season workouts. I have a great strength coach, and his name is Mark Lavat up in Green Bay. And I talked to him right before this lockout started, and we got a whole program set up. And I basically take a lot of what he's taught me and use it with different things I learned in high school and a few things I learned in college working out. I had to work around my wrist a little bit this off season, but I still got a lot of good work in. Didn't feel like I lost any muscle or anything. And then today out here was just, I did a little bit of leg work. I did some good stuff with Chris Colbar, a physical therapist here that has a couple black belts actually, and punching the bags. And I like to punch and kick to get everything. It's just different workouts. I think if you look around right now, especially NFL, a lot of guys doing different MMA type training and all that. I like to dabble in that a little bit. I just do things that I feel carry over to the football field. A lot of stuff with my hands, a lot of punching, kicking for my legs and groin and hips to keep those strong, to do things that you don't normally do on the field or in the weight room. When I'm doing martial arts type things, I just want to keep my hands quick, try to make them quicker, and learn how to strike and get guys off of me and get those big linemen off me and not let them grab me.
Yeah, today's workout, and it's at that point where he hits it hard the first part of the week. This is a Friday, so it's more of a recovery workout. Today was light strength. It was a recovery workout on the strength. The biggest thing we wanted was to increase the dynamic flexibility of his hips. Basically, anybody in the NFL or any sport that plays in space, they always can improve hip movement, hip flexibility, the first step quickness and explosion. So as his week goes on, you can't hit it hard every day, so you got to cycle in recovery workouts and for him rehab days. So this was for the lower half and the hips is a recovery, dynamic flexibility, explosive movements, and then a light strength day. We did do a little bit of upper body recovery. He has the weekend off, so we hit him, especially with his wrist concerns. We hit him with the PowerMax 360.
The toughest thing is the PowerMax 360 thing that I was doing. It's just, you just go hard for 30 seconds as hard as you possibly can. The upper body workout, it's kind of a full body workout, and it's the closest thing you can do, at least in my mind, to feeling like the feeling to get on the field after a 7 or 8 play drive when you're tired, and that's why I want to get to that point as much as I can.